Welcome everybody to yet another success story. Today's a special one with Rosa, who had received over 40,000 in rewards at FundingPips. So I'm really happy to have her here and to have a discussion about her success, about the impact that FundingPips had created on her trading journey, and answering your questions from the start, guys. Yes, we will give you a giveaway, but please be patient. Stay with us and we are going to tell you how to enter. But in the meantime, Rosa, it is absolute pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the Success Story Conversation.
Thank you for having me here, Paulina. Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure. And let's kick it off. And Rosa, could you share a little bit about yourself and how did you get into trading and what kind of sparked your interest in this area?
Okay, so as everyone, I got into trading because I planned to be rich in 6 months' time. All the marketing and things like that. But to be honest, I started learning 8, 9 years ago. I started the worst way possible. I didn't know at the time, but I was studying binary options. So I didn't even know what binary options was at the time. So then they got banned from the UA. Then I moved to Forex. And then since 8 years ago, I took trading from a very serious perspective, like a business, like a career. And then I learned myself most of the time, but also I did some courses. I had some fantastic mentors on my way, and here we are nowadays, living off trading, not being super rich, but living off that, and also working with FundingPips as a prop firm.
Amazing. That's fantastic. And you said there was a switch that you started treating it as a business. So
Yeah.
before that happened, what kind of challenges have you faced on your trading journey? And what was that also defining moment that when you were like, okay, I need to switch?
Yeah, that's a good one and pretty straightforward. Expectation. When one gets into trading for the first time without knowledge, expectations are very high and are a bit distorted, I would say. So trading is a career, as being a doctor or whatever, you name it. So you have to treat it as a business and you have to treat it as a learning process. So you spend, let's say, 3-5 years on a university just learning. And when you finish the university, you're not the manager, you're not the CEO, you are just a junior. And we expect to get into trading and to be super rich in 6 months or have a salary. It's impossible. So expectations is the big barrier, the big hurdle you have to overcome. So it struck me very quick because I lost thousands of euros in a few months. And then is when I realized, okay, something's wrong, not with the world, but with me, not with trading, but again with me. And then I started thinking about everything I've said so far. So let's focus. Let's treat it as a career, as a business, as a long-term process, and it's what I did. So I stopped over, and I started from the beginning, just learning properly, trading properly, risk management properly, and things like that. So it was a turning point, to be honest. Not that I got into trading and then I earned thousands of euros in a few months. Not at all. It took me a year or so, but it was a progressive path, and which is the way of doing it, I think, from my opinion.
And after what period of time did you have that turning point? How long did it go by?
I'm not very good at dates, but I would say 6 months, 8 months, and then it hit me very hard, just because of the losses.
That's quite actually early on realization. That's really nice. Sometimes some traders, it takes years, to realize certain things. But as you said, it's not like a magic wand that it just happens because you had a realization.
Yeah.
It still takes time and it's progressive. So with all of that experience of trading and, what you went through on that journey, what does trading mean to you on a personal level? Because I do believe it shapes us in a different way.
It does indeed. In the beginning, it was like a dream, right? Everyone wants
Mm,
to take the most of their lives and
yeah.
working as many hours as possible, but taking the most salary wise. But when I changed it and I treated it as a career, I literally, and that's true, I fell in love with trading. So, and then I thought, I want to do that for the rest of my life. So take it easy. It's like a relationship. Don't rush it. And it was it was important because making this decision, this personal decision to myself, like
Hmm.
I'm gonna live out of trading the rest of my life, it's a very serious decision, and
Yeah,
it has some, let's say, compromises you have to do in your life, personal life, working life, because I used to work for a massive company, for a multinational at
mm,
that time, at the city in London. So salary wise was very good, and I gave up everything, bonuses, etc., in order to be a trader. So it was a massive decision, not only personal, but for family, for friends, for everyone.
of course.
And but it paid off in the end. So yeah,
I'm happy.
it was important to have this decision and to have the clarity to make it
Mm.
real.
And honestly, big congratulations to you on that decision, because removing that comfort and that safety
Mm,
blanket, let's say, it's a big one, because you're taking huge responsibility on your
mm,
shoulders. Trading just on its own,
mm,
it can put quite a lot of pressure on you,
mm.
but then actually having to live off it as well. So really well done, and well done for following your dream, with all of that. And then you came across Funding Pips, I believe, right? At some point in your journey.
Yep.
And I would want to ask you, because in rewards, you had received over $40,000. And I would want to actually ask you about your most memorable reward that you received from Funding Pips, and what did it mean to you at that moment? Whether it was a first one, or maybe it was a fifth one, or whether maybe it was a last one. Like, which one's
Um,
the most?
let me note something very quick. And I had a colleague, a trader colleague, that insisted, like many times, like a million times, you have to go to Funding Pips, because he works or he used to work with Funding Pips at the time. And I said, no, absolutely not. I have my personal account. And I was with that
Yeah,
going forth
yeah, yeah.
discussions for over a year. Finally, in order not to listen him anymore, I took the plunge. And
Okay.
and so that's why I'm here with you. And
Mm.
I did buy an account. I lost it because I didn't read the rules. It's not
Hmm.
something other than that.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
read and to know where you're playing. And anyway, in a month, I think the first account was in end of March, April, I'm not sure, but some or less. I think in May or beginning of June, my first reward was around $8,000. First reward ever. So I came from not trusting any prop firm to ask for
Mm.
8,000 rewards at Funding Pips, and I was like, it's impossible. They're not gonna pay me. That's a scam. That's the truth. But it wasn't. So I got
Yeah.
paid, um, and it was like, wow, what happened here? What have I wasted 2 years not working
Yeah.
with prop firms? What am I like that, right? It's like, I've wasted 2 years. And then I realized something very important and something big. I wasn't sure about it, but I realized something big is with prop firms. So
Mm.
um, you can start, if you don't have a big capital to start off, you can start
Mhm.
with prop firms, and it's a rampage. It's something impressive, and I was very very happy to get this reward. That was massive, of course, but also to make sure I wasn't right. So to make myself confidently say, no, you didn't trust and you were wrong, as usually always. Um, So that was very important. It's a turning point again. It's like, wow, let's keep going
Amazing.
working.
Amazing. $8,000 from disbelief to receiving that,
Yeah,
thank you to your friends that
yeah,
actually convinced you to take that leap. And I'm so happy that you came to us and you were fulfilled with everything that you wanted to achieve, especially with that first reward of 8,000.
yeah, yeah.
And may I ask, like, how did you purpose those rewards? Like, I can imagine even the first reward of 8,000 or the total of over 40,000 had an impact on your life and
Mhm.
perhaps on those around you, because you mentioned kids, family.
Yeah, yeah. It does, because I also have my personal account which I trade.
Mm.
This is the one of the business I have, personal account, and the other business is FundingPips, a prop
Okay.
firm.
Okay.
So because I manage them like two different businesses, so all the rewards I get from FundingPips, to be honest, well, I pay taxes as always, blah blah blah, but the rest is for traveling and for leisure. To be honest, it's like
Okay.
it's actually a reward. It's not a payout
Amazing.
like for me. So family is happier. That's that's the truth, and
Wow.
I'm also happier, and it has a massive impact because money doesn't provide you with happiness. Happiness comes from yourself,
Absolutely.
but it's an ease of mind. Money provides
Mm.
ease of mind and peace of
Mm.
mind as well. So it's important to have it, so you know you can provide for your family, your friends, whoever needs it. So it's important. And I'm very, very grateful for that, because, as I said, it's now I'm managing two different businesses with profits in both of them. So super happy.
Amazing. That's fantastic. And may I just highlight to every listener, to every trader right here, the language that Rosa is using: businesses. She's
Mm,
running two businesses. She's running personal account business, and she is, in partnership with FundingPips as a second business. The second
mm,
business facilitates the fun part of her lifestyle, the travel, supporting kids, supporting family, supporting friends, having fun with that, whilst her personal account business is for the further investments, for bills, for all of that, etc. But
mm.
the key word here is business. And I love how you're using that vocabulary, because this really showcases your mindset shift from that moment that you
Yes.
had experienced,
Yeah, it's very important, because they are
Mm.
businesses, and the moment you treat them like that, you expect to have some expenses and
Mhm. Of
incomes.
course,
People
of
expect
course.
from trading only income, and they don't manage
Absolutely.
expenses, the losses. So,
Absolutely.
absolute every business has losses. And traditional businesses, let's keep in mind, they take around 5 years in order to be profitable. And not all of them are profitable. At least in Spain, 90% are a failure. So the moment you manage your business as a business, you expect losses. So you expect, if you have a restaurant, not to have people this day in
Mm.
a restaurant. And it's pretty normal when we translate that to a regular business. But in
Mm.
trading, you lose 3 times in a row and people go crazy. And because they're not treating it like a business, like you keep
Yes.
doing what you're doing, keep doing the same thing absolutely every day, and the rewards will come, but you have to give them time. So
Absolutely. I
it's important.
completely resonate with that, Rosa. And you speaking about, treat trading as a business. And for me, and especially that you're giving that example of business, and at the end, you're looking at the end P&L, the profits and losses. And if you end up in profit, fantastic. Sometimes
Yeah,
you may not. That's also okay. But I
totally.
remember, to make myself feel better about not being yet a profitable trader, a few years ago, I used to work what is it called, Shark Tank, where
Yeah,
entrepreneurs go with their business
yeah,
ideas in front of the investors, and they usually would be like, oh yeah, I've already invested $1 million in my business, I already invested $500,000. And it was making me feel good, for the purpose of they believe in themselves and their vision, and they're going to continue moving forward. And that was kind of instilling that confidence in me, saying, I believe in myself, in my abilities. I am going through the losing period at the moment, or I am not yet on the profitable pathway, but I will get there because I believe in myself, because my work ethic is going to get me there. So I really like, that thought process behind it. Do you feel like, because you mentioned that, FundingPips rewards do facilitate that actually reward, the word reward, but were there any specific goals or dreams that you achieved thanks to trading with FundingPips?
To be honest, because I didn't expect that much.
Yeah.
It's been like a present for me. Like, well, I don't know what to
Right.
do. So we've been traveling, things like that. But at the end of the day, and let's be honest, marketing on YouTube something, and real life is something else. So you can't travel
Absolutely.
every single day or buy cars or houses. You don't need 3 or 4 cars, things like that. So in reality, what I'm going to do this year, what I'm doing is using part of these rewards to manage a biggest investment on
Okay.
a variety of investments to
Mm-hmm.
make bigger my cushion if something goes bad, so
Yeah.
something goes wrong. And that's what I plan to do from now on for the next, the
Nice.
remaining of the year. And I'm already doing it at some points. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm already doing it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So your further plan, from my understand, is the future rewards as well, to
Sure.
kind of enhance your trading career and your
Hmm.
business security.
Sure.
Let's put it this way. Amazing. What would be your advice to someone who's considering to start trading with FundingPips? I asked that particularly to you because you had to be convinced, and if someone might be here watching right now considering, should I not buy my first
Mm.
account challenge with FundingPips, what would be your advice to those people?
Yeah, I mean, I was the first detractor a year and a half
Mhm.
ago. So now I'm working with you since then, and I keep planning working with you. So my biggest advice is focus on the process. So you can buy a challenge, but in order to take this 1, 2, 3 phases, whatever challenge you get, it's not focused. Do not focus on the end, on the result, on the money. You have to
Yeah.
focus at the beginning of the process, which is, as I always say, there's three words, three verbs. It's like to be,
Mhm.
to do, and to have. So focus on to be, learning, trading, learning a strategy, working on yourself, knowing the rules at funding pips so you don't break any rule or things like that.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
to do. When you do it, you actually have to trade, but it's not about trading big. Trade based on a leverage you can manage, and you can have even 20 times in a row losses without suffering. And the end of the result will be the to have. And when you get to that, when you have, is that the money? That's the third part. But if you focus on having, that's only a consequence. Having money or getting money from payouts is just a consequence on who you are and how
Yeah.
good you are. So that's my biggest advice. Don't rush it, because no one rushed it when we were trying to work or talk or learn at school and then the university. No one rushed it. No one went to first day at university and asked the teacher, when I'm going to be a doctor, how
Yeah.
much money I'm going to earn. No one asks that. Why people do it at trading? If you focus as a career, as I say, if you haven't planned like that's a career, that's a business, focus on the to be first, then to do, and then to have. And as I said, rewards, money, success in life comes as a consequence of who you are and
Absolutely.
how good you are at what you're doing. I won't be paid ever as a cook, ever, because I don't know how to cook. And I've never learned how to cook, in fact. So it's a silly example, but it's the same. Again, sometimes in the traditional world, we understand it, but when we translate it on a digital world in general, not only trading, it's
Mhm.
like we lose our minds trying to get fast money, and then we lose it. And then sometimes I hear people saying, I've paid for, I don't know, 10 challenges, 20 challenges, 30 challenges, and I've never get anywhere other than paying challenges,
Yeah.
and say, because that's the
Yeah.
problem. It's you. It's not the challenge, it's not the company, it's you.
Absolutely.
You're not ready. So step back a little bit, focus on learning and do things properly, and don't rush it. That would be my advice. And as I said, prop firms, and I talk about FundingPips because the system you have and your challenges, I really like it. I think it can be a ramp up for your
Yes.
expectations. Literally, it's been for me, and I'm a professional trader as well. So saying that, I think it's something that makes logic to me.
Absolutely. You said so many valuable things here, but in summary, I want to highlight one that I live by myself too. When you have the work ethic, the outcomes will follow, especially in trading. And what I love that you said that everything is a reflection of you and it's a consequence of your actions. So it's not the market's fault, it's not the rules' fault, it's not the slippage, it's not X and Z, it is you.
Yeah.
Everything that you are looking for in terms of what works and what doesn't work is already within you. You just need to kind of listen to those little, signs within yourself. Because I do believe from psychological perspective, the emotions that we do experience in the markets are actually signals to
Yeah.
what we need to work on,
You have
and
to
what we
work
need
on
to
them.
do.
Yeah. As I
Absolutely.
always say in life in general, but in trading, it's just a reflection. It's like working with a
Yes.
mirror, like here.
Yes.
The problem is you. It's always you. It's
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I don't get
Yeah.
money. It's you. uh, the market did
Mm,
that. The broker's chasing my stop loss. Come on, just do properly. And it's like the teacher hates me, and that's why I've got a bad mark. No, just study more. Teacher,
absolutely.
even if it's true and he hates you, he'll have to pass you, even if he doesn't like
Absolutely.
you. So it's you, and that's something we don't grow up with, apart from
Hmm.
no financial education, at least in here. Absolutely not. So that's something you have to work. You, and you. That's my mantra. Something goes wrong, again, look inside, again and again. And I'm a super fan of a Deming cycle, the plan, do, check, act, and that's why
Yeah.
I try implement it in my life in general and trading, of course. Always planning, then doing, as I said, then checking the results. It's okay, keep doing it. It's not okay. You have to change some variables and some things you have to change. Act, and then again, plan, do, check, act.
Absolutely.
So, and it's the way to success to me. It's pretty boring what I'm saying, but
It's not. It's
I
not
don't think
because,
trading is exciting, to be honest.
yeah, honestly, because how can you change something if you don't have the data and awareness of
It's
what doesn't work? So what
basic.
the cycle that you're explaining is precisely on point. What you have to do day
Mm,
in and out, day in and out, and it is boring, and it's meant to be boring.
yeah.
That's
Also, I
it.
would say one of the key success to, and more if you're trading with prop firms, is it's boring. Trading has to be
Yeah,
boring. The moment
yeah,
it's not boring, you're doing something wrong, that's for sure. Because you're
mm,
not sure what you're doing. That's why you get nervous and excited.
true.
Excitement and nervousness is because you're not sure what you're doing. So it has to be boring. And in order to be boring, you have to do absolutely the same every single day. It's repetition, it's system, it's following the rules. It's like acting like a robot. The moment you're not a robot, the moment you think, let's say like that, you lost. And these two things I'm explaining here, to me, have been the key success on my career. And I'm pretty sure
Absolutely.
for that.
Absolutely. So the pilots, they go through the checklist,
Mhm.
very thorough checklist when they get to the cockpit. Now, it might be a pilot with 25 years of experience. Does that mean,
See?
oh no, I don't need the checklist? No. He
Yeah.
still goes, or she, through the same process, check everything, even though they remember it, doesn't matter. But that's also, like, this is literally training of your subconscious mind, and so
Correct.
your autopilot mind actually starts running on those appropriate checkpoints. So
Yeah.
not on the destructive behaviors, but you're actually encoding the positive behaviors, and that's exactly what it is in a nutshell.
Hmm.
So what Rosa is saying here literally highlights reprogramming your brain, your
Yep.
behaviors, your thoughts, your robotic mindset, your conscious mindset, and you just keep on working on yourself day in and day out. And that leads me on to a question, actually, because, you know, what you have told us so far is so insightful. And I would want to ask you, how did trading shape your life as a person? What kind of impact did it have on you as a person?
It changes you as a person because you are forced to improve yourself. Um, Something very important when you approach the trading is keeping your ego in your pocket if you can,
Mm.
and being humble. These two things we don't, no one teaches, right? We are always right, and people is always, when you say when something's wrong, it's always from the outside. My boss, my coworker, my kids. It's never you. It's no. I'm
Mm.
stressed. I haven't done it right. So our ego is always the first one, and trading gives you what you need. It's losses. And when we touch money, is when you either realize or don't. Some people don't, but you have to realize, you have to work on yourself. The moment you start working on yourself is the moment you're changing. I've changed a lot. My personality, I still have
Mm.
my personality, but my way of understanding life, the world, my approach to trading, any other business, people, has changed a lot because I had to change. I was
Yes.
forced to do it, not because I wanted. It's because trading
Yes.
forced me to do it, and it's a different view from of the world now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I guess you were forced to change, but that change from trading is extraordinary, I would say, because we are forced into personal growth. And like you said, it's a mirror. So you get to
Mhm.
actually look and, you know, instead of, like you said, people point fingers, when you point in a mirror,
Yeah,
it's pointing back at you, you know, and you say, okay, this is who we need to work on. This is the thing. And what would you say was the biggest, let's say, psychological and mindset? I know you said there was a part of expectations that played a big role, but then when you went through that journey of transformation or continuously working on yourself, what was the psychological part of trading psychology that you really had to put a work into?
Ego, as I said, I remember a mentor in front of many people, like, well, 25, 50 people. And I was discussing something with him,
Mm.
something I didn't understand, and he was showing us. And he stopped, looked at me and said, Rosa, are you here to be right or to get money?
Mm.
I didn't
Powerful.
answer. Yeah. It was, to me, at that moment, it was awful. I
Mm.
stopped talking. I didn't even reply. I shut
Mm.
my mouth and I had to leave the room for a few minutes because it hurt me. But then again, I said, he said that because I had to listen. I'm not here to be right.
Mm.
I'm here to make money. So close your mouth and pay attention and do
Yeah.
whatever your mentor, because that's why I got a mentor, is telling you. So being humble and keeping your ego, it's the most difficult thing I've ever done because
Mm.
everyone wants to be right. There's always an excuse for you to be right. You are late to work because no, just get up earlier. No, there's no because, it's you. It's okay, it's fine, but we are plenty of excuses and after excuses all the time. And sometimes you have to shut your mouth and say, I'm late, you're right, sorry.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
No excuses. And I've had to learn. That was very, very difficult to me because I'm very expressive, and sometimes I would use excuses too much, trying to accommodate my reality, and my reality is only
Yes.
mine. It's only my point of view, no one else's. So yeah, that was a hard thing to listen, but I'm very grateful to him. We are still friends.
Amazing. But you know, it's one of the greatest qualities to have as a human being, to actually put your hand up and say, I'm wrong. You're right, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I because we meant to grow. We meant to, you know,
It's fine.
actually take that accountability and say, yeah, I'm wrong here, and move on. And I think he asked you the greatest question that he could have, because he did not point fingers. He asked you a question that made you reflect very deeply, you know?
Yeah.
So you actually, it's amazing that you had him on your trading journey to guide you through that. Can I ask how, because you joined FundingPips in May last year. So how would you say that being part of FundingPips community has also shaped your trading journey during that period?
I think I don't know if you mean community in the sense of knowing other people. What I've done is
Yes.
I've been watching the YouTube channel many times just to get insights from other winning traders. That's true. Also, the support part. As I said, you have to read all the FAQ,
Yeah.
all the questions and things you don't know. And I've been talking to support many times, much more than I liked it, and they've always replied. But just to make sure what I was assuming was right and not only an
Yeah.
assumption. So I'd rather ask many times the same thing from different angles
Of course.
than I make sure I'm on the right side. So it's been great because the YouTube channel with these interviews and other interviews, you can take some bits and pieces from every interview that you can incorporate in your trading, in your way of watching the market, analyzing the market, or structuring what you're doing. So I'm pretty glad of doing that.
Amazing, amazing. I'm really glad to hear that. And as a last question from myself, I will ask you something, but before I do, guys, it's your time to actually now ask Rosa questions. Anything to do with her trading journey, what we had discussed during this conversation. And actually, the best question will receive 10K two-step pro challenge account. So then Rosa at the end, when I read out the questions, we'll decide which question was most interesting. So just to let you know about that. But Rosa, going back to our conversation, how do you think initiatives like this conversation between you and I, will help other traders grow and succeed?
That's a good one. I'd really like to trading be shown as what it is: a career, a business, something serious, something important. Money is on stake. It's at stake, and it's serious because you have to work previously to earn that money. So not like to think initiatives like that show people what's trading about, the real trading, not the cars, watches, and super
Yeah,
houses, but a normal life, a regular life, regular people just showing how they trade, why they trade, and what strategies do they have, and things like that. That's what I'm also trying to do on my channel, just showing boring, realistic trading, because it's the trading that makes money, and leaving all the super marketing, extreme marketing to one side. So I'm really glad initiatives like that one, like yours, are here on the market, and it should be even more people doing that, but showing real people, traders, real traders, just any money from prop firms or personal accounts or whatever, but real gains and not
of course,
just
of
charts
course.
painted and things like that, which I
Not the
can't understand.
fluffy stuff on
Right.
Instagram, that's
Yeah.
with over colored and over exaggerated. Here it literally is the real stuff, and what Rosa said about even her system and how she got to the stage that she got into through the repetition and how she applies things. She literally had given you the framework to apply yourself, and to improve yourself. And I have questions coming in, and I have one, no, I have plenty, but one that I want to put forward first, which is, what was your biggest motivation in trading?
I've always wanted to maximize my working hours. So I don't mind, I've never minded working like 16 hours a day. I've done it many years. It's not a problem, but I wanted to maximize the return on that hours, on that time I spent
Yeah,
working. And
yeah.
then I thought trading could be the ramp up to achieve this not trading 1 hour for one salary, but also by trading 1 hour for one, two, three, four, five salaries. That was my main
Wonderful.
motivation.
I love it. I really, really love that. And someone else is asking, how do you handle your losing streaks?
I don't mind. First of all, I handle them all right, just because I'm moving on a leverage I can stand. So I'm not over leveraged. So if I can't, let's say I have £1,000,
Mm-hmm.
I can, if I trade on a losing probability of losing, I don't know, £300 or €300, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My mind won't be at ease, because if I lose 3 times, I will lose my account. So how much do I risk? I always risk 1% of my capital. And if I started, because when I started with €500, 1%, only €5, yeah, that's not a problem. The problem is not having money to trade, not the
Yeah.
1%. So I always trade on this average. So how many losses has my strategy? On average, it's through 2, 3 losses on a row. Top losing trade has been 8, 9, let's say 10. I think it's 9, but let's say 10. 10 losses is just 10% of my capital. So I can handle that. And that
Mm.
happens every now and then. So that's why
Yeah.
when I lose, I keep going. Doesn't mind. That's it.
Perfect. Perfect. That's the edge. That is the edge. So thank you for answering that. And I have another one asking, how do you adapt your strategy when the market's conditions change?
I've never changed it.
Okay.
So if you have a strategy based on 200 indicators, that's something you should know it's going to change, because the indicators are lagging. So you're always behind. But there's some strategies. I'm not saying they don't work, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying you have to adapt them very often. But if you work on a strategy like mine, which is based on highs and lows, and you can watch for free, um, there's always high and lows on the market, and they
Yeah.
happen in real time. So I
Yeah.
take this decision in real time and not based on any indicator. So you can adapt to volatility. Let's say Nasdaq is very volatile these days. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of having, I don't know, a stop loss of 30 points, I might have it 60 points because of the volatility. But
Yeah.
the strategy is absolutely the same decision, same risk reward, same thing. So I don't adapt it.
Thank you for answering that. Now I've got an interesting one. What is the best basic advice to give to a trader that is battling with greed?
Wow. Um, that's a difficult one, because
Mm.
when you're greedy, you have lost control over yourself in many senses, not only in trading. So greediness is one of the capital problems, one of the 7. Um, I would say you have to think how you perform your regular life on a daily basis. Just forget trading for a bit and say, what do I do in the morning? Do I work? Okay. Do I expect to have double salary today on my 8 hours at work? No. Why should I expect that from trading? Do I have a boyfriend, girlfriend? It doesn't matter. Partner? Do I expect to have 5? Do I expect to be 10 times happier today? No, we usually tend to be like on an average, right? Every single day and everything we do. Why should you expect to earn more from trading if you're not ready for that? Because as I said, it's a consequence. So greediness comes before preparation. So you're not prepared, that's why you're anxious to get more and more and more. So I would say just take it easy and think about your
Mm.
regular life. Do you do on a regular life? Do you go to the market and buy 5 apples, and do you expect to pay for one? No. You have
Yes.
buy, you
Very
pay by
nice.
5.
Yes.
So examples in real life are plenty, and they're
Mm.
real because they are real life. So you have to put them. as if you're trading. You don't have you've got my risk reward is 1 to 1. Some people say, have you tried 1 to 2? Yes, and it's not working, and for my personality it won't work. That's it. So this
Yes.
strategy is 1 to 1, but you can have doesn't matter. It's 1 to 1 and I stick to the plan so I can live off the trading. And you do that on your regular basis live, and you have to extrapolate it to trading. So I would say that if I don't know about greediness, but it's important to stop it and to eradicate it
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely. I think you've
fast
given
as you
a
can.
really, really great examples there. And whoever asked about that, you can also go into our trading psychology series on YouTube. We actually talk specifically about that topic too. But one important thing that for me in that answer is that you really need to get to know yourself as a person, what Rosa highlighted, and understand the risk reward ratio that works for you best. Because you can go for 1 to 10, 1 to 20, but will you be able to emotionally sustain it as a person over a long period of time? Because you need to understand your profit appetite versus your risk tolerance and your
Mhm.
personality type. All of those things really matter. That's why, of course, at the start of your trading journey, we all kind of replicate each other, but then eventually you need to find your own system that works for you, and just go for that, because that is going to help you to stay consistent over a long period of time. Now, I've got so many questions here, but I have one that I guess really very much relates back to your journey, and is asking, what were your key considerations on eventually setting your expectations right?
Key considerations. Wow, to set my expectations right. I thought the way I'm doing it now, it's not working, and I'm losing
Mm,
money. So, period. It's not working. And I can't blame anyone but me, because unfortunately trading is you against yourself. So there's no bosses and coworkers, so it's you. So I had to think, if I want to do that for the rest of my life, because as I said, I fell in love with trading. Um,
mm,
you have to change it. You have to change it right now. You have to stop doing what you're doing, think big, and think slowly. So don't rush it. You
mm.
have spent 4 years in university, 2 years trying to work, 4 years trying to speak, uh, 30 years trying to understand the world, and you still don't understand it. So don't rush it. It'll end there. So we will all end there, but just take it easy and change it, and that's a business. So that was my consideration. So I had to, or I changed it, or the market won't allow
Yeah,
me to take money from
yeah.
it. So it's easy. What I want, money. The mentor told me. So
Exactly,
that's it. I
exactly.
have
That's
to
where the
change it.
focus is. Yes. And that leads me on to another question. We have, by the way, plenty of questions about your strategy. And if you want to share your strategy, you're more than welcome to, or perhaps steps like how you analyze the market. So I will kind of give you that question. You can answer that if you want to, but I give you another one. So you've got a choice. Um, do you get scared of choosing a profession where 95% of traders are losing?
No, because to be honest, 95% or 90% of the traders don't lose money. The ones losing money are not traders, are amateurs trying to be. So
Yeah,
95% of the people trying to be a football player don't make it. They're not football
yeah,
players. It's people trying to get there. The traders don't lose money. So, as in real life, 95% of the people trying to be a tennis player, they won't get there. 95% of people trying to get to be CEOs of a company, they won't
yes,
get there. Um, best people in the world, or the most famous, are 1 in a million. So that's the statistics. Why should I be different? It's not discouraging, it's encouraging. Let's say, yeah,
yes,
trading works like real life work, like the rest of the
yes.
careers and things work. So fine, it's not scary, it's real. Great, let's work on that. Let's. And
Amazing.
something I want to point out is, being a trader is not always being um, being in the first league of footballers. There's the first league, there's the second, there's the third, you know.
Yes.
So traders are many people that make millions and people that make €1,000 a month, and they live of that because maybe they live in a
Yes.
cheaper place, and they are also professionals. They are also traders, and they will never get 1 million a month. But it doesn't matter. They are professionals as well, like footballers or tennis players or whatever, or doctors. Not all the
Yeah.
doctors are super surgeons in New York City. Some are here
Absolutely.
in this hospital right here, and they are surgeons as well. Maybe not the first lead,
Yes.
but they are. So it's important to keep your
I love that.
expectations low.
I love that. And what I love so much is that how you relate all of it to life examples. So it's actually realistic, it's real,
Yeah.
it's understandable in our minds, that actually if you compare this to this is how it is. And it makes so much sense because
Mm.
we can really overcomplicate trading for ourselves, but when we actually put it into perspective with things we understand, oh yeah, then that makes
Yeah.
sense. That's such a great comparison where you just told us. It's absolutely fantastic. I have a question about trading psychology, and I would not be myself if I did not ask something about trading psychology. And the question goes, Rosa, do you have any psychology tips to help you stay profitable?
That's a very difficult question because it applies to many things. It's a compound
Mm,
of things. But as you said, Paulina, I always try to compare trading with my real life,
yeah,
always, because it puts you down. It brings you down your expectations. And then
yeah,
once your expectations are in a proper place, they can grow up. But if they are in an unrealistic place, you fly away with them, but they know you can't materialize them.
yes,
Psychology is being where you are, trying to
mm,
be the best you can, being humble, keep your ego in your pocket. And whenever a professional says something, just pay attention. That's why he's a professional. Maybe I don't hit like Rafael Nadal, but if he gives me an advice, I will try to follow. I won't say, no, no, I've tried, but that doesn't resonate with me. Just
yeah,
shut your voice. I mean, it's a
mhm,
professional talking to you. So pay attention, being humble, and just systematizations. If you create a system, as you do every day in your life, we don't improvise absolute nothing in our regular life. Since we wake up, we do exactly the same thing the rest of the day. We wake up, we have breakfast, we shower. Some don't shower because they do it at night, blah, 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 blah. So if you resonate with your real life, it'll be easier for you to be profitable because you are aligned expectations and real life, and then you can grow up from there.
yeah.
I would say something like that, but it's a very, very difficult question.
It's a loaded one. When it comes to psychology,
Yeah,
it's truly loaded because there are just so many different areas, and we all individuals, and we all have different things that we are working through. Even if it's
mm,
the same emotion that we're working through, we will have different experience of it,
sure,
etc., etc.
completely.
Yeah, so thank you for answering that. Now, guys, you have one more question to ask. I'm going to scroll through the previous one, so I will ask two more questions, but please, we are going to stop now with the questions. So send over anything that you still might be curious about. But let me just, this is a very interesting one, which perhaps can help traders now that at the start of their trading journey. And it goes like this. What three suggestions would you give to yourself when you started your trading journey?
Wow, that's even more difficult than the previous
Oh,
one.
yeah, I know. They don't get any easier, those questions.
No, 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 it's not easy because probably because everyone has its own personality. I would do the same mistakes if I came back. But suggestions are try to learn from someone. Uh, First of all, try to learn from someone that shows you, not to
Mm,
win, to lose. So
yes.
it
Oh,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they go live as I do sometimes, and I lose 6 days on a row. That's more valuable than showing a trade traded 3 days ago, and now that's 300 pips in your favor. I'll show you. Trade with someone that shows you reality. Reality is not fancy, I know, but it's reality. And remember,
Mm.
we live in a reality. We don't live in a 3D movie, whatever. Um, so learn with someone that can you give your hand and show you the path. And the path is not easy. It's not simple. It's not funny. On the contrary, it's hard. It's boring because it's repetition, things like that. I already said in this interview. That's the first suggestion. And then I will suggest again, humble and ego out of your sight. And time. Time goes for everything. When you are broke, when you are heartbreaking, uh, time heals. Everything needs
Mm.
time. People, humans, don't learn in a rush way. We need time. That's why we talk. We need 5 years to talk. Why? I don't know other animals. Other animals gave birth and they start working. We need a year and a half to work properly. We work different, so we have to do what humans do. Take our time. Don't rush it. And if you are struggling with money in the meantime, just look for a job. Do whatever it
Mm.
takes to get that money, save money, and then invest part of that savings. That's what I've done all my life in trading. I've never lost. I lost thousands of euros in a few months, but none of these thousands were to eat or to pay rent, and I was old enough, so I had many bills to come. So it's important to be disciplined. If we go back to reality again, professional footballers, sports, all of them have a massive discipline with diet, with training, with money, because they can't play football when they are 60, things like that. And only the
Yes.
best do all the process, only the best of the best of the best. So it's just 1 in 30 million. The rest of them, drugs, alcohol, things like that, bad habits,
Mm.
blah, 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 blah. And we know the end result. So for trading, it's the same. Just discipline, step by step, don't rush it, and learn absolutely every day. You won't get anywhere if you just trade or learn an hour a day. You need many
Yep.
hours, thousands, like in a career, just walking. What happens if someone tries to walk and fell down? Would you say someone don't try it again? You're wasting your time. You say no. Well done, baby. Just try again. You're doing it nice. So it's the same with trading. Just keep going, but with a clear focus and clear mind on where the results are.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much for this answer. You said so many inspiring things here, but one thing that stood out to me the most, especially from psychological perspective, is learn from someone who's going to teach you how to lose. That is the absolute key. This is my favorite quote, I think, of the year so far, and I really mean it, because it's so true. It just really summarizes trading. You
Yeah.
have to learn how to lose. That's it. And learn it from somebody who can actually help you cope with it and regulate yourself, etc., etc. And I love the part where you actually compare trading to being an athlete, because I do it all the time. Any trading psychology series you would watch, I always talk about it, about the discipline, from the diet, from lifestyle, from doing everything that surrounds their careers, and same as us traders, because actually the discipline that carries forward onto the chart should be coming from our lifestyle, and that it really is the key to our success. So guys, I will not ask Rosa any more questions. We're almost here for an hour, and trading session is ongoing, so I want to let her go so she can go and run her businesses. But Rosa, which question did you like the most out of all of those?
I have it pretty clear. The greediness question, I think it was the third one.
The greediness. I am scrolling up to actually see who asked about greed. Igor. I have your nickname on YouTube. You have won 10K account. Please add your email to your YouTube About Me description, and we are going to send you access to your 10K account and tell you all of the instructions that you need to follow. But congratulations, you won the account. We're giving out 2 accounts today. So after we finish this conversation with Rosa, please go to the comments section of this YouTube video and tell us what inspired you the most about this conversation. And then we are going to pick, by end of this week, a second winner of the 10K challenge account. But Rosa, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Likewise.
You are an absolute inspiration, honestly, and I'm so happy that you had become FundingPips trader. I'm so happy that FundingPips were able to create impact on your journey and be influential on your journey as well. And thank you for sharing your mindset and your approach to the markets. I'm sure a lot of people have learned a lot here today. I learned a lot myself from you too. So thank you so much for your time. And perhaps our next conversation is going to be at the 100K mark from the rewards at FundingPips.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Thank you so much, Rosa. Take care. Lovely speaking with you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.